Breaking news. Orlando Bloom would really like an Oscar nomination, so if you could give him one, that would be great. What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from ahvemovieguy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to talk about The Cut. This film does have audio description. I stayed all the way to the end. Nobody ever gave me credits. Nobody ever said, I made this. It's always sort of unnerving when, like, there's no company. Like, so then I have nowhere to complain to about anything. I do have thoughts, so we'll get those in here. But, so this movie was directed by Sean something. I forgot his name. Sean Ellis. There we go. Sean Ellis. And stars Orlando Bloom, Kaytrona Balfe, and John Turturro. So it's got a solid cast. And it's a boxing drama, sort of. It's like a boxing drama that looked at The Machinist and said, hey, that thing that Christian Bale's doing, we're going to do that, but in a boxing drama. So prepare yourself for this. So Orlando Bloom lost 52 pounds. Orlando Bloom, who I've never known to be a heavy man, lost 52 pounds for The Cut. My God. It's like there's that image of Christian Bale and The Machinist where you can like see his rib cage, and because he lost a freakish amount of weight for The Machinist. Yeah, Orlando Bloom was like 180 and he went down to like 130, around like 130, like 129, 120, something like that for the role. And wow. And this film is not really registering on anybody's radar, and he put sort of his own health at risk. And I get it. It's to hammer home the point of what this film has to say about boxing and getting back in the ring and feeling like, this is all you do, so you have to be able to go back in and win one last time. And what are you willing to do for that one last title fight, that one last bout, to go out on a win instead of to go out on a loss. So we open up with Bloom, who he's in a boxing ring and his fight does not go his way. And then we cut to the future, and he's with his, I don't know if she's a wife or a girlfriend, but they're definitely connected beyond just like being friends. Played by Kaytrona Balfe, and they run this boxing gym, training people, and Bloom gets another shot. He's been out of the game for a little while, but I mean, he still trains, but he's not quite at fighting, and he's overweight for the weight class that he needs to be able to fight in. I would just say, can I fight in a different weight class? Like at a certain point, you just go, well, that's not my weight class. So it's too much weight to lose in an amount of time, but he has to lose like an insane amount of weight. I can't remember how much, but it's like more weight than you would think within a really short period of time. So he's trying to figure out how to do that through really putting his health at extreme risk by like completely dehydrating, and stopping eating and all that kind of stuff, and trying to sweat every last pound off of his body. And he's unable to sort of meet that on his own. So this guy who's recommended to him, that's played by John Turturro, who comes in, and he's got an even more extreme way of doing this. And he holds Bloom even more to the fire, so to speak, which Kaytrona has some issues with, and ultimately can't be a part of, can't watch her partner, ruin his life over this. So how far is he willing to go for the truth, to win this fight, to feel like he can stand on top? And that's the journey. That's what this movie's about, is watching him go through hell and wither away for the opportunity to stand in the ring. And I'm like, but when you get there, you won't have any energy to fight. You'll be so exhausted. He starts like hallucinating. Like, he's not doing good. I'm like, I don't even understand how he fights at the end. Like, he should have, the movie should have ended with him just like passing out, like at the end of the, just falling over. Like, I'm out. No, make it. You know, which I think would have been a more powerful ending, would have been to make it to the ring, but then he can't even fight because he just dies. Like, that's not the ending to the movie, but I would have made that the ending to the movie, because we shouldn't endorse that you can do this and get what you want. And then, because the film doesn't really sell the ending with the whole, like, was it worth it? Like, we never really get that, and that angle of it. We never really find out. It never really asks that hard question from Bloom of, was all of this worth it in the end? Because he does some more extreme things that I'm not going to spoil, but um, yeah, The Machinist is the closest comp that I can give. If you are, if you need trigger warnings about anything having to do with any sort of bulimia or eating disorders, run from this film. Run from it. If that is your thing, I'm telling you, this dude is trying to lose like an insane amount of weight in a short period of time. Plus, you're going to watch Orlando Bloom go from normal looking to um, deeply concerning. Because again, he was only like 180, so he wasn't fat. And you know, some of that is muscle. On Orlando Bloom, let's be honest. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about? He's got muscles. He's not... This isn't like Jim Parsons lost 52 pounds. Where you're like, where did it come from? He doesn't even have muscles. So, yeah, I'm concerned. But is it a good performance? I suppose, but honestly, for most of the performance, it's just him being disoriented and like struggling through and stammering around. He can't really form coherent sentences. And if you needed a reminder that Orlando Bloom is capable of acting, I think this will do it for you. But I just feel really bad for him, because like, he's not in any sort of Oscar consideration for this, and he so clearly wants it. Like, he clearly is trying to chase projects that will get him there, because there's no other reason to do this. There's no reason to lose 52 pounds for a role and put your health at risk, unless you think that that's going to be on the table for you. Like, I think Christian Bale got a little bit closer with The Machinist because people actually did talk about that film, but nobody's talking about The Cut. It's just this indie film that was released, and it just kind of died, and you can watch it now on VOD or streaming. It's a completely different era that he lives in. So now when he chooses to lose 52 pounds for a role, it really just is like, is it worth it though? Because how many people are even going to see The Cut? How many people are going to notice that you did this, that you went through hell and back for this role? So I liked the movie. I thought it was an interesting psychological thriller. It has some problems with flashbacks. Like, it didn't need any of them. None of them. None of them. Not a single one. It needed no flashbacks. This film is strong enough on its own without ever flashing back to whatever was going on with his mom in a relatively incoherent plot that we were trying to follow. Every time it would flash back to his past as a kid with I was like, what is even this? What is even the through line here? Like, what are we doing with this part of the story? And it just felt kind of random, like it was just there to sort of break the tension or add to it or highlight it, and it would show you something terrible, but it wouldn't really connect the idea to anything. It was just like, man, he comes from a hard past. Man, his mother really put herself through a lot. Oh man, I can't believe that happened to him when he was a kid. Man, he's had a hard knock life. You know. Okay. I don't really know what that has to do with this, though. I think he needed a lot more character development in and of himself so that we know what he's thinking. He needed to talk more to Catriona Balfe, more about her thoughts and emotions. They needed more scenes together. It basically, when John Turturro comes in the movie, he kind of takes over and Catriona gets sort of sidelined and then eventually just kind of like pieces out and is like, well, I can't sit here and watch this. I'm like, I just needed more from your partnership with him anyway. Like, I feel like Catriona is kind of wasted here, and she's a fantastic actress. Another person who I think is chasing an Oscar nomination, somebody who just right role, that's all they need. Now, I actually think Catriona makes more sense and has come closer with things like Belfast than Orlando Bloom, who was his other film this year was an Amazon straight to video that I can remember. I don't know if he's been in anything else. I remember him. He did Gran Turismo. Like, he doesn't really seem to be doing a lot of Oscar adjacent projects, but this obviously came his way, and he was like, "Oh, thank God, I can do some serious work now. I can really sink my teeth into this role." And he committed himself to it, and I applaud his work. But the film doesn't support him in a way of anything other than, am I giving him a pity nomination for withering away on camera? Like, he doesn't have the character, the script doesn't support him in that way. The script, if anything, supports Totoro as being this, like, terrible, hard-ass, bastard person who keeps pushing him to the brink and seems to have no care in the world. So literally when Totoro comes in the film, he takes over. I don't even think this is the strongest performance from John Turturro. Like, I think he was better this year in Severance. So but he's still John Turturro, and sorry to the other two, he's the strongest actor of the three. He just has more he has a more dynamic background that allows him to be able to jump into roles and chew through the scene more with less given to him. Bloom is basically just relegated to slowly dying on camera. Not saying he does, but that's kind of what it feels like. To all the terrible shit you watch it's not a happy movie. And Catriona is just wasted. She needed more to support her relationship with Bloom, and she never really gets it. They do add like another fighter in here, and that's sort of the problem with the audio description is, I guess, and I was like, did we never really use his name? Is that like a true thing with Bloom? Like, we don't ever hear what his name is? They needed names because it gets really weird when we have two boxers, because it refers to Orlando Bloom as the boxer, and it refers to the other guy as the fighter. So you get like the boxer and the fighter, the boxer and the fighter, the boxer and the fighter. I'm like, they're both boxers. You just found a different way to say the word boxer. So these are why sometimes looking into IMDb and looking at the credits and finding out what these characters' names are in advance and just going ahead and throwing them on there helps. Because in the scenes where we're bouncing back and forth between the boxer and the fighter, I realized I was like, wait, which one's the boxer and which one's the fighter? Again, because you're like, that's the same thing. It's like saying, well, the police stops the cop, and the cop talks to the police, and the police talks to the. You're like, wait, aren't that the same thing? Like, aren't you just finding different ways of saying the same word over and over? So, yeah, I was not incredibly won over by the, but it's fine. I mean, like with some of the stuff that he needs to do and the dwindling away, it's going to be hard to really describe and give you the full effect of Bloom's weight loss anyway. It's just not going to be something that it's hard to get you to. That's one of those things that just doesn't translate for blind people. I'm sorry, it doesn't. It's like, as sighted people, when I was among the sighted, a lot of these things with like biopics was always like, yeah, you can describe a person in the role, but it's more of the how close did they get it? That's the comparison everybody's always making in their head is with the makeup, with the way that somebody is walking and the dress. They always look at that and they go, but does that really look like Elvis? You know, like how close does that actually, is he really nailing the hip swing? Does it really look like? So here, the thing that sells it is actually seeing Orlando Bloom lose the 52 pounds. That's what will, it's, you can tell somebody, I can tell you that he lost 52 pounds and only started at 180 and you can be horrified by that. But it's different to actually see somebody lose that amount of weight, and then also for the film to be about it and for that to be the harrowing and horrific experience of the film, the centerpiece of this movie. So I'm not 100% sure how well this will translate anyway, but not, it's not my favorite audio description track of the year, but yeah, I would have had some notes coming out of a QC. I'm like, could we try to find a way to help highlight this maybe a little bit more? Just pushing it a little bit closer towards what its obvious goal is here. So, but then again, I think the script lacks in some places. But I was properly horrified by the experience, which is what I was supposed to be. I came away thinking that everybody gave a strong performance, even if they weren't well supported by the script. So it's like it's a narrow fresh for me, but it's certainly not a hardcore one. I'm not expecting to see this pop up in award season. If anybody nominates this anywhere, kudos to you throwing Orlando Bloom the life raft and saying, "Get in, please. There's food in the life raft." Yeah, the cut, I'm gonna give it a 6.2 out of 10. Yeah, that's like one of those, like, yeah, it's a soft fresh. This is one of those things where people go on Rotten Tomatoes and they get really angry because they're like, well, this movie has like an 85%. Oh my God. It's like it's an aggregator of thumbs up versus thumbs down, yes or no. And sometimes there's like a screaming like a hell yes, you know, like run to the top of the mountain and tell everybody about the film. And then there's also those ones where it's like, yeah, this is on the other side of my threshold. There's enough here for me to say yes and not no. So there are reasons why I have to say yes over no. I think the yeses trump the no's. You do that little chart, right? The pros and the cons. I'm saying that the pros narrowly outweigh the cons. Anyway, not a ringing endorsement, but yes, fresh. If you're looking for something, especially if you really like Orlando Bloom. Actually, if you really like Orlando Bloom, you probably shouldn't watch this, but because it's just gonna be hard on you to watch him lose like 52 pounds. But also, he wants you to watch this clearly. Like, he's never probably wanted anybody to watch anything more than this movie. But I'm just so sad this is not gonna be the project for him. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the other side.